Today I would like to discuss about personality development. Each and every man possesses many character traits, as we know, and each trait is very different and distant from the others. One type of man, for instance, is angry, constantly. In contrast, there's the calm individual who is never moved to anger, or, if at all, he will be slightly angry, perhaps once during many years. Then there's also the prideful man, and the one who is exceptionally humble. There's the man ruled by his appetites. He will never be satisfied from pursuing his desires. And conversely, the very pure of heart, who does not desire even the little that the body needs. There's also the greedy man, who cannot be satisfied with all the money in the world. As it says in the proverb, a lover of money never has his fill of money. In contrast, however, there is the man who puts a check on himself. He is satisfied with even a little, which is not enough for his needs, and he needs not bother to pursue and attain what he lacks, but he feels fine with that. There's also the miser. He torments himself with hunger, and he gathers all his possession close to himself. Whenever he spends a penny of his own, he does so with great pain. Conversely, there's the spendthrift, who consciously wastes his whole entire fortune. All other traits follow the same pattern of contrast. For example, the overly elated and the depressed, the stingy and the free-handed, the cruel and the soft-hearted, the coward and the rash, and the like. Between each trait and the contrasting trait at the other extreme, there are intermediate points, each distant from the other. Now, you'll note that it is interesting that with regards to all the traits a man has, some from the beginning of his conception, in accordance with his nature, some are appropriate to a person's nature and will therefore be acquired more easily than others. Some traits he doesn't have from birth. He may have learned them from others, parents, siblings, teachers, peers, many other ways, or they were turned to them on his own. Also, this may have been some that have come to him as a result of his own thoughts, or because he heard that this was the proper trait for him, and therefore he tried very hard to attain that trait. So he accustomed himself to it until it became part of himself. You see, the two extremes of each trait, which are at a distance from one another, do not reflect by any means a proper path. No, it's not fitting that a man should behave in accordance with these extremes or teach them to himself. It's not what we need, it's not what you want. If he finds that his nature leans towards one of the extremes, or that he adapted himself to it, or if he has learned one of the extremes and he acts accordingly, he should bring himself back to what is proper. The straight path is what involves discovering the midpoint. The midpoint temperament of each and every trait that a man possesses. This refers to the trait which is equidistant from either of the extremes, without being too close to either of them. And that's the way a person should live. And that's what I wish for you, because I know you deserve it.
If you like what you've heard, please let us know by leaving a comment below. We would really appreciate if you would be kind enough to like, share, and even subscribe. Feel free to follow us on Facebook.